Good morning, student. Today we are going to learn about CMOS fabrication process by N-well on P substrate. As we know, CMOS can be fabricated using different processes such as N-well process for CMOS fabrication, P-well process for CMOS fabrication, twin tube CMOS fabrication process. So today we will discuss about N-well process for CMOS fabrication. The N-well technology used where N-type diffusion is done over a P-type substrate. For this type of fabrication we have to follow several steps. Step 1. First we select a substrate as a base for fabrication. So here we select a P-type substrate. So this one is the silicon P-type substrate or P-type silicon substrate. In step 2, silicon dioxide layer formed by oxidation process on the silicon substrate. So this blue region is the silicon dioxide layer, SiO2 layer. It is done by exposing the substrate to high quality oxygen and hydrogen in an oxidation chamber at nearly 1000 degrees centigrade. In step 3, apply photoresist on the surface of the silicon dioxide. For selective etching, the silicon dioxide layer is subjected to photolithography process. So in photolithography process, we transfer a pattern to the layer on a chip. So in this process, the wafer is coated with a uniform film of a photosensitive material known as photoresist. So this region is the photoresist. As we know, photoresist are of two types, positive photoresist and negative photoresist. Positive photoresist are initially insoluble and after the application of UV rays becomes soluble, but the negative photoresist are initially soluble and after the application of UV rays becomes insoluble. We generally use positive photoresist. So in step 4 we apply the UV rays to the photoresist layer, but the whole photoresist layer is not exposed to the UV rays. We selectively expose the photoresist to the UV rays. So this rectangular portion is the region where the UV rays are allowed to reach at the photoresist layer. In other region, the UV rays are not able to reach the photoresist layer. So after the application of UV rays, the photoresist present in this region becomes soluble. So after that, the soluble photoresist is removed in step 5 using some chemicals. Then after the removal of photoresist in this region, the silicon dioxide layer also exposed. So in step 6, the exposed silicon dioxide region is removed here. So in step 7, the remaining photoresist that are present in other regions that are removed using etching process. In step 8, we add impurities to the substrate. Which type of impurities? N-type impurities. We add the impurities throughout the surface, but In these regions, the oxide layer act as insulators. Because of that, impurities are not able to penetrate the substrate. But in this region, as there is no oxide is present, so impurities are added or penetrate into the substrate. Because of this, a N-well is formed here. So by using ion implantation or diffusion process, N-well is formed. Then in step 9, the remaining silicon dioxide is removed. Means these layers. This remaining silicon dioxide layer is removed and we get this structure. In step 10, a thin gate oxide is transferred to the surface of the substrate. So, the misalignment of the gate of a transistor would lead to the unwanted capacitance, which could harm the circuit. So, to prevent this problem, self-aligned gate process is used, where gate regions are formed before the formation of source and drain. So first we form the gate terminal, after that the source and drain terminals are formed. So for that, on this yellow layer, means this yellow layer is a thin gate oxide. On that yellow layer, a maroon layer is formed. That maroon layer is known as polysilicon. So polysilicon is used for formation of gate because it can withstand the high temperature. Polysilicon is deposited by using chemical vapor deposition process over a thin layer of gate oxide. What is chemical vapor deposition? It is a coating process that uses thermally induced chemical reactions at the surface of a heated substrate, and this thin gate oxide under the polysilicon layer prevents further doping under the gate region. Then in step 11, except the two regions required for formation of the gate for NMOS and PMOS. Means in N-well a PMOS is formed and in this region a NMOS is formed. So for a NMOS we need one gate terminal, and for PMOS another gate terminal is required. So total 2 gate terminals are required in CMOS. So except the two regions required for gate formation in these two transistors, the remaining portion of polysilicon and then the portion of thin oxide is removed. Means first we remove the polysilicon layer except in these two regions. Then after the removal of polysilicon, the gate oxides are removed. In step 12, an oxide layer is deposited over the wafer or substrate, which acts as a shield for further diffusion and metallization process. So this region is the oxide layer. Then in step 13, for formation of N-type regions selectively, the oxide layer is removed, which makes small gaps on the surface. Means we selectively remove the oxide layer from these regions. Because of that, 3 small gaps are formed. After the formation of small gaps, in step 14, the impurities are added on the surface of the substrate. Which type of impurity? N-type impurity. Using diffusion or ion implantation method, N-type impurities are added, and due to this addition 3 N plus regions are formed. Then in step 15, the remaining oxides are removed. Remaining oxide means these layers are removed. Then in step 16, the same process is followed for the formation of P plus region. So first, the entire surface is covered with oxide layer. Then the oxide layer is selectively removed. Then P-type impurities are added to the surface. Then 3 P plus regions are formed. Then the remaining oxide layer is removed. So here we can see, the oxide layer is formed on the surface, then they are selectively removed here. Then after the removal, the impurities are added. Which type of impurity? P-type impurity. Then the remaining oxides are removed. In step 17, before forming the metal terminals, a thick field oxide is deposited to form a protective layer for the regions of the wafer where no terminals are required. So in step 17, first a thick field oxide is formed in all regions, means this yellow layer completely cover the surface. After that, they are selectively removed. So after the removal, these gaps are formed. Okay. Then after selectively removal of thick field oxide, in step 18, the surface is covered with evaporated aluminum. This blue layer is the evaporated aluminum. So this step is used for the formation of metal terminals which can provide interconnections. So evaporated aluminum is spread on the whole surface. In step 19, the excess metal is removed from the wafer layer. After the removal, these white gaps are formed. Okay. Then in step 20, the terminals of PMOS, NMOS are made from respective gaps. Then we assign the names of the terminals of NMOS and PMOS. So this one is the NMOS part, this one is the PMOS part. Then this is the gate of the NMOS, this one is the gate of the PMOS. Then on the sides of the gate, one of it act as source, another one is act as drain. Like this, here one is act as source, another is act as drain. Then this one is the body terminal in NMOS and this one is the body terminal in PMOS, and this whole is the CMOS. So this is all about CMOS fabrication using N-well on P substrate. In the next class, we discuss about the CMOS fabrication using P-well on N-type substrate. Thank you.